Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. As always, make sure that you lot are smashing up the lights. Make sure that you lot are subscribing to the channel. What are you saying, Fats, man? Big yourself up. You good, bro?
Hey, big up, man. Big up. I'm good, man. I'm good. And I've been fully recovered. I went to Poland a few days ago for the Leisure Warsaw away, and I'm back in the weekend. Pretty much, it's just the same old, same old. But yeah, just keep myself busy at all times. But the Chelsea stuff, man, there's lots of things that we have to talk about.
100%, bro. I saw you were stressed the other week. You know what I mean? Talking about slapping people in their ass. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Absolutely, man. It's just that our fan base right now is just they're in the tatters right now. We have a big civil war. Some people want Maresca out, some people want Maresca in, and it's just I think for me there's a bigger issue. It's just that the directors that they have to they have to hold some accountable as well,
Yeah.
for not getting the recruitment. And we've been speaking about this for the whole of the season, and it's just that we say the same thing happen over and over again every time we drop some points. And unfortunately enough, that it could have been a horrible time to drop points, and we got 6 games left, and the race to the Champions League places is so tight.
100%, bro. It's very tight at the minute, man. First of all, Fats, we haven't really spoken about your thoughts on Maresca and what's going on at the
Yeah.
minute, right? What's your thoughts on Maresca at the minute right now? Because, like you said, there's a bigger problem here. That's what I want to focus on today. Because I'm seeing a lot of people crashing on him, regardless of how the games go, regardless of how many chances man are missing, regardless of if the guy's setting the team up well and guys are just not being on good form right now, right? He's getting it the most right now because a lot of people have made up their mind. What are you feeling about Maresca right now, bro? Do you want him out or are you kind of just waiting a little bit?
I think I'm just kind of waiting a little bit because for me, I'm looking at the situation right now. The squad construction wise, we've had so many underlying injuries that we've had from the halfway through the season. I think for me, the one thing that I would stress out is that for me, it's that that number 9 threat that I think he doesn't have in this locker. We have Nkunku on the bench, but most of the times that Nkunku right now he's out of form. I think he wants to leave the club. That we should be selling him in January, but it didn't happen. Unfortunately enough, that we loaned out about 8 players, so it left us in an awkward position in terms of our squad depth. With Maresca, on the other hand, is that he's been giving up a bad card to have with the amount of squad that we got. It's really thin at the moment. With Gude also, I don't know how long is he out for. We haven't seen him. I thought the news was supposed to be that this month's supposed to be that the return of Mark Gude could be on Friday, but the system is there. But it's just that for me, I feel like it could have been a lot more better if we had that clinical number 9. But I do understand the sentiment of why people turning on him, because it's been one of those side to side way passes. For me, even at times, I'm more annoyed. But the thing is that let's say if we sack Maresca, they're gonna get another media manager in, and that's where my issue lies. Is that I don't trust fully enough with this directors, as a result. So yeah, man, it's just that for him, if he gets sacked, that he might be gone at the season, then we get another manager in, unless of course the ownership sack the directors, and then the new directors, whoever it is, whether if it's Luis Campos. Bring him in, and then he decides to sack Maresca and bring his guy in. Then I have no problem with that. But
for me right now, because a lot of people have been in my chat talking about, you didn't have this energy for Poch. Poch had the same problem where he didn't have a striker. There was a lot of people missing chances, and I said, bro, you're right when you say that. And I was criticizing a lot of the team last season, saying the same thing, right? Even though I wanted Poch out, there were certain games where I wasn't even looking at Poch too tough. Even after I said get him out of it, I was looking at certain games where I'm like, yo, I can't even look at Poch too tough today. He set the team up well. It's the players that kept missing the chances, right? But the issue that I had with Poch, and the reason why I wanted this guy out, was because I found myself blaming him for a lot of our losses from early on in the season. Because don't forget, Fats, a lot of people wanted Poch out from like August, September, Yeah. Maresca, a lot of people were loving this guy off until December, bro. It's December where he decided to fall off and not rotate the squad, not use the squad well, right? not bring Felix on in certain games when Palmer's stinking out the place. Felix ain't everyone's cup of tea, but if you can see Palmer's tired on the pitch and he's not really contributing, bring a little bit more energy, right? Why are you not using Vega more often when you can see that the defense ain't that great? Bring on 3 centre-backs, bro. He's done it a couple of times this season, and every time he's done it, we've won, funny enough. I remember he done it against West Ham. He done it the other day when we won against, who is it that we beat? It was West Ham. The recent game that we had, I can't remember. I think he did it against Leicester as well, because they were trying to pile on us. Yeah. Every time I've seen this guy bring on an extra centre-back, we've gone on to win the game, right? That's something that he should have been doing. And if I was the manager, I would have considered dropping Colwell when he was having a rough period and playing Vega, right, in his natural position at centre-back. That's what I would have done. But he didn't want to use the squad. He wanted to bring Nkunku on off the bench with like 5 minutes to go. You know, he wanted to bring Gil off the bench with like 5 minutes to go, right? Yeah. These things are not going to help you when you're seeing the likes of Jackson consistently missing chances, right? But just to go back a little bit, main difference for me with him and Poch was messing about for a longer period in the season, bro. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I was defending this guy talking about let him get his injured players back. Let some of these guys come back. You know what I mean? They came back because don't forget what Poch used to say as well, Fats. This guy used to talk about the circumstances. Remember that word? You used to like the circumstances.
Circumstances, yeah.
The circumstances of not having Lavia, the circumstances of not having Nkunku, right? All of these guys came back. I still remember it was February last year, bro, against Wolves at home. Yeah. We got battered 4-2 by Wolves. Yeah. And in that same week, we lost to Liverpool as well by 4 goals as well, bro. You know what I'm saying? 4-1, right? That's when I said, bro, I can't deal with this no more because you're saying you need your players. They've come back and you're still getting battered like this. You know what I mean? And on top of that, every week we're seeing people getting injured in training. It didn't make sense to me. Like the style of play that he wanted to have in comparison to the players we have, it just didn't work, right? Whereas tactically, I've actually seen a lot from Maresca for me to be like, do you know what? He's trying to fix up a little bit more. Like since he started to mess up in December, he tried Neto up top when he didn't have Jackson, you know, to help us win more games, play a bit better. Against Aston Villa, bro, if we won that game, everyone's talking about how good it was that Maresca played Neto up top. You know what I'm saying? How good it was that he played Palmer right wing. But because Jorgensen threw the ball in the back of the net, Maresca's getting blamed again, right? Because Palmer is in front of the goal and Martinez is coming out, instead of scoring that finish there, is blaming it on Maresca, bro, right? How am I supposed to look at that Aston Villa loss and blame Maresca, bro? You know what I mean? I think you're right. You're right. One last thing. How am I supposed to look at Ipswich, see 32 shots, right? 4 big chances, 2 big chances before they even scored their first goal, and I'm supposed to blame Maresca, bro? You know what I mean? I don't. You got to look at games in isolation sometimes, bro. It's not always the manager you run into first.
Yeah, I think that's a major issue with some of us, even to certain points at that during the period that where we lost about 20 points since the mid of December up until now due to our own mistakes. And I feel like some people are really kind of emotional to the way that we play out from the back, and it's fun. It's like they're more annoyed. It's the way that from the build-up play from Sanchez all the way to forward. And I do fully understand the situation of it. But at the same time, it's that the players themselves got to take some accountability. Where it's just that way too many times this season that they're making so many silly errors from the back. And we always make ourselves look so hard every time we try out these playing from the back, though. And that's been my main issue so far. It's just that way too many players on our back line are prone to mistakes. And that's why I feel like we need to go on a window to sort the situation out, because we cannot go to the next season having these players and they're not good enough to play for this team.
But we've still got holes in this team. Even last year, I hated Poch, but I did say, bro, if Poch had Lavia available, right, we would not be conceding as many goals, because at least Caicedo would have a little bit more protection to help him, the likes of Gallagher, and they help him. But this guy decided to play Lavia when he was injured, and they told him he's not fit. He plays against Palace for half an hour. He's written off for the rest of the season, bro. Yeah, and you get people like this as well. Big up Jordan. It says Chalobah at right back instead of centre back. What's that all about? He had 3 right backs in his books: Reece James, Josh, Gusto. Why didn't he put Reece saving him for Thursday against Pathetic? Right. Let me start off with Chalobah starting at right back. First of all, he wasn't really playing at right back in the game, bro. He was mainly playing at right centre back because majority of the game we had the ball, right? So you had Chalobah, right centre-back, Tosin in the middle, and Levi Cole at left centre-back, right? And Cucurella was inverting into the midfield and inverting into the little pockets like you normally see, right? And regardless of all of this, we still, like I said, we still had 4 big chances and 32 shots on goal, bro. Yeah? We did not lose this game because he decided not to start Reece and not to start Gusto, right? I'm sorry, that's an absolute cop-out. That's you just trying to nitpick a little things here, right? That's not the reason why we lost this game. We bury our chances. No one's looking at that position. And I'm sorry, bro. If you need Reece or you even need Gusto to blame, to beat Ipswich, just throw the project in the bin. Like I keep saying, throw the project away in the bin. You know what I mean? We didn't lack creativity because Reece wasn't on the pitch. We didn't miss chances because Reece wasn't on the pitch, right? This loss has got nothing to do with Reece, right? It's our attack that let us down again. And again, defensively, we were moving like clowns, right? If you want to talk about defensively, go look at Colwell for the first goal, right? That's pathetic. That's pathetic. Man's falling asleep. He's daydreaming. That's pathetic, right? Look at the second goal, Chalobah. Don't tell me, it's because he's playing at right back or whatever. I've seen Chalobah make the similar mistakes from centre back. Yeah, this is what he is. He is a bozo. The same way that Sanchez is a bozo in goal, Chalobah is a bozo at centre back in defence. Yeah, I've always said this about Chalobah. He's never too far away from a bozo moment. You know what I'm saying? He's never too far away from a bozo moment, bro. Yeah.
Do you think maybe if let's say if we start a centre back and then we have Chalobah and Colwell, do you think the result would be the same or will be much better? Let's say if we start a natural right.
Even if Chalobah started at centre back, he would still do stupid things like that. A man forgetting when we played against Man City, and I don't know why he decided to go and attack Haaland when Colwell had him. He's ball watching. He's got nothing. He's no awareness around him. Before you know it, Foden runs off of him, runs into the space where he's meant to be. They score, right? Go look at the game against Brighton. My man just kicks the ball from centre back, by the way. He kicks it straight back to Brighton. They end up, applying a lot of pressure. They score, right? For the goal that Ruta scored, the header that he scored against Brighton, Chalobah, no awareness. He's ball watching again. Ruta's behind him, free man. He scores, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm not hearing this thing, because he played at right back. Bro, Chalobah is a bozo regardless of where you put him, yeah? And if you think that we lost that game because of this, that is pathetic. And you clearly did not watch the game, right? You clearly did not watch the game, yeah? You've got guys like S. Pick up that, put that comment about S from S there as well. Because I'm calling everyone out right now. I'm calling everyone out, yeah? He says, stop asking Maresca, man. He ain't going to bum you. Shut up, bro, yeah? Shut up, yeah? If you want to be angry and you want to blame him for everything, you want to crash him for everything, make a channel, go on your channel or make a space and talk about it. Yeah. Talk about why it's his fault that Palmer is not clinical anymore. Right. Talk about why Jackson can't score from 3 yards and constantly hits the post, bro. Talk about these things. Yeah. Talk about why Chalobah makes constant mistakes, even when he was at Palace, and blame it on Maresca, bro. Go talk about it. You know what I mean?
You know what? I want to be objective. I want to be objective here. Let's have a conversation here, guys. So, ever since the mid-December, we play about 24 games total in the league, also in all competitions, and we dropped roughly about 20 points. And apparently, when I went to the podcast yesterday, Lewis told me about we are the second lowest in terms of our conversion rate.
Only Leicester have a worse conversion rate this year, facts, in 2025. And Leicester are going to get relegated, bro. They're the only team that have a worse conversion rate. Yeah? Let me reply back to him again, because he's annoying me now. Yeah? You're just annoying me right now. You're lying. Yeah? You don't crash it, bro. Why are you lying? Honestly, when it comes to YouTube, why do people lie like this? Like, have you not got a fetish? Honestly, bro, have you not got a fetish about lying, bro? Yeah? I think you lot get hard. You get rocky about lying, you know? Yeah, I've got many. Go on my channel, bro. Go. I was even in Paris. Yeah, when we lost to Brighton the second time, and I was chefing Maresca, bro. I was chefing this guy. He lost twice in 1 week. Yeah, to a guy that's young enough to be his son. Right? He consistently kept playing Jackson instead of giving Gil a chance up top, bro. Right? Even S. I would have rather played S up top instead of Jackson over December, bro. You know what I mean? But you're telling me I didn't crash him. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. The difference between me and you is I can be balanced. I can look at things in isolation. I can look at the game against Ipswich and I can put more blame on the players, right? I can look at certain games like against Brighton and I can put that more on the manager. But guys like you can't do that, bro. You know what I mean? You've got no critical thinking, bruv.
Don, let me ask you a question. Do you think from December onwards that Cole Palmer kind of like his form is really dipped right now, and that's really worrying to me, is that the last 3 months I feel like our top scorer has been Marco Cucurella, if you deep it. Do you think that Cole Palmer, as a young player right now, he's got that lack of confidence, he's going through this rough patches, that is it normal for him, like, you know, when you had these rough patches that eventually like your stats it's literally like gonna fall off the cliff? But do you think that maybe it's just one of those days that, or do you think also that you're confident enough that he'll get back to the form soon enough?
That's literally what it is for me, Fats. When I look at Cole Palmer right now, I'm looking at a guy that is not confident. Yeah, go remind yourself of the penalty against Leicester. That was the first time in 18 months of Palmer being here where I've actually looked at man and said, yo, he's gonna miss. Yeah. And usually Palmer, when he gets a penalty, it's a given, it's a goal. But I could see his face. I've watched football long enough to know I can read a man's body language. I can read a man's facial expressions to know they're not confident, right? Palmer is getting in positions to be scoring a lot more goals, but he has not been clinical. Yeah. I don't buy this thing about he had more freedom last year. No. The difference between this year and last year is that he was more clinical. Last season, he would get every chance outside the box. More often than not, top bins, bottom bins. He'll bang it in, right? The only thing I'll really criticize Maresca for is certain games this season, Palmer would start in the right half space, then he'll move to the left half space in the second half, and you can see that there's a clear difference in his game, right? He's not as good in the left in comparison to the right. But at the same time, Fats, I have seen this guy start in the right half space and still miss chances, right? And I've seen him start in the left half space against Newcastle and crash out, bro. Yeah, I've seen him start there against Brighton and score 4 goals, bro. You know what I mean?
Yep, definitely. And the thing is that the Palmer-Jackson combination that we've been hyping out since the November, that was all gone. Like, apparently they only score about 1 or 2 goals in the whole of calendar year, and that is really damning to me. But let's talk not only about Palmer, but also other players like of Jackson, like Neto, Nkunku, Sancho.
You know this though. Yeah. Jackson in front of goal is just pathetic. It's pathetic, and that's why I wanted Gil to play. Right? I was sending. I'm in the group chat of Gem and all these lot. Yeah, and I've got Wi-Fi out, right? So I can actually watch games back. And I was watching a lot of Gil, and I was like, "Yo, this guy is a very good striker. Very good. He reminds me of Costa. I'm looking at his movement. I'm looking at his finishing in the box, left foot, right foot. Right? Go back to the hat trick he scored against that team in the Conference League. Yeah. I don't see Jackson scoring a hat trick like that. Nope. That was what you call a striker's hat trick, bro. He scored a header, and 2 of the goals that he scored, the 2 goals that he scored was his movement. Yeah. Against West Ham when he came on, we don't win that game without Gil or Neto, right? Yeah. Gil was being a nuisance in that game, and I remember after that game, a lot of people were saying, "Yo, I want to see this guy playing more." But we, as Chelsea fans, we can't have anything nice. He gets injured after that game. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, bro, he is a better striker. Whether people think it's funny or not, he is a better striker than Gil. He's more of a natural striker. Jackson is not a natural striker. He's a winger that turned into a striker, and he's still learning as we go along. That's what he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Jackson is more of a that type of player, but I also think that we're still lacking that area of threat presence like Olivier Giroud in some ways. For me, every time Neto just spamming crosses from the left hand side or the right hand side, there's no one literally in there, and that's why I feel like in this upcoming window is really important for us. Let's say if we sell Nkunku this summer, the directors exactly. Nkunku will be gone, and we might get about 60 or 40 million fee like that. And for me, this is why the underlying issue is that I want these directors to get that area of threat presence that I've been crying out for about nearly 3 years now. And I want that type of player that, you know, like Giroud in some ways, that can be, you know, because for me, I like Jackson as a player, but don't get me wrong, I don't think Jackson is that type of player that has aerial threat box presence like that. So he's more of a dribbler in my opinion.
Just call it as you see it, Fats. Cucurella is better in the box than Jackson. That's how pathetic he is in the box.
There you go. He's a top scorer.
Every time, bro. Look at the ball that Enzo whipped across, yeah? Enzo whips a fantastic ball across, yeah? I'm telling you now, there's so many strikers in this league. Some strikers are even retired. Bring me Teddy Sheringham. Teddy Sheringham would bury that chance that Enzo crossed because he's a natural striker and he would know where to be. Jackson is never in the danger zone in the box, right? He's always around the near post. He's always reactive. And I'm like, bro, the ball's not going to come to you every time. Sometimes you need to move into that space where the ball's going to go. You need to read the game, move into the space where the ball's going to go. You crash that area and you make yourself a nuisance. Yeah. And that's what Osimhen is. Osimhen in the box is an absolute nuisance. Omarodian, as much as I didn't want Omarodian, I did say in the box, he's an absolute nuisance, right? Mark Guill in the box is an absolute nuisance. And why is that? Because they're all strikers. Jackson is not a striker, right? And that's where it goes back to the sporting directors again. Why did we leave ourselves in a situation where we've only got Guill, who's 18, who Maresca clearly doesn't trust, right?
There you go.
Me in the summer, I did say the money Osimhen was asking for, it's a mad thing. There's only certain strikers that I'm paying that for. But maybe we should have just paid it. You know what I mean? Maybe we should have just paid that money and brought this guy in, because I can think of so many games this season. I can think of Bournemouth at home. 5 big chances in the first half. We don't win that game. We're not clinical, right? I can think of Palace away. We don't win that game because we're not clinical, right? I can think of even Fulham in the first half. We don't win that game because we're not clinical. We allow the team to come back. He doesn't use the subs, right? There's so many games this season I can think of where I'm like, yo, we scored this goal, that chance there. We win the game. Because once again, goals change games. Yeah? Goals change games. I'm telling you facts. If those 2 goals went in after 10 minutes against Ipswich, our goal difference would be even higher because we would have battered them. We would have battered them, bro. I'm telling you. Yeah.
The thing is, you're right. You're right. And this is the annoying part, is that every metric up until that point you said about this striker, and then this type of situation. Yeah, you're right. That for me, it's just that the annoying thing about these directors is that they just putting ourselves every time that we get into a certain summer window or maybe winter transfer window in an awkward spot. For example, like January, we only signed 1 player, and that is Anselmino from Boca Juniors as well. Even then, I call it is a recall from the loan anyway. And we only re-signed Trevor Chalobah because we signed
Amugu, the midfielder. That's the only guy that we signed.
Of them are they're on that list. There's no prolific striker. There's no aerial box presence. Nothing. We haven't replaced anyone that went out on loan. No one,
bro. And another issue that I had with these guys, right, was what do you call it? It was the fact that they wanted to loan out both Santos and Leslie, right? You should have never done that, because now you're seeing people complaining. Why is Reece playing in the Conference League? It's a fair enough complaint to have, yeah. But bro, Enzo and Caicedo cannot play every single game, because as soon as any of those 2 get injured, it's peak. Because for me, they've been top 3 performers this season, right? For us, they've been top 3. You know what I mean, right? So Amugu, you bring this guy in. Clearly, he's not being trusted by Maresca right now. Lavia, the guy that you thought was going to stay fit, is not available. So you've got no one else basically that can play there. If you had Leslie, if you had Santos still, you would have had someone there, bro, as long as these guys aren't injured. But you decided to loan both of them, right? You decided to loan both of them. And that's what I always say about these sporting directors. They are gamblers, right? They get rocky, like S was getting rocky earlier, talking about Maresca. These guys get a hard one from taking risks, yeah? They took risks in the summer by thinking Fofana, Lavia, and Reece would stay fit, when in reality, they should have never gone into the season thinking like that. When people were crashing the window, I said, bro, this window is very obvious what they've done. They're buying squad players this window to try and bring the squad up, like the likes of Tosin, the likes of Vega. These guys are all squad players, right? And the reason why is because Lavia, Fofana, and Reece are going to feel like new signings because we didn't really see them last year. They were injured majority of last season. That's why they've done what they've done, right? But going into this summer, we need to make sure that all the signings we're bringing in, or most of them we're bringing in, are players that go straight into the 11. That's what we need to do now, bro. Yeah? No more squad players. You bring in players for the 11. You forget about Lavia being in the 11 because he can't stay fit. You forget about Fofana staying in the 11 because his knees are inverted. Like I keep saying, you look at his knees. Your knees are meant to be straight. His are like this. They invert together, right? You forget about him being in the 11, right? You forget about Jackson being our leading 9, right? And then you go from there, blood. Yeah? Most of these people in the chat would be able to bring me 3-4 players right now that improve us. Why can't you lot do that? And there's 2 of you. There's even 2 of them, you know. There's 2 of them. You know what I'm saying, bro?
The thing is like, I fully agree with you there. And my issue just goes back to is that the way that we attack the window is so reckless. And apparently, I just saw the news that there's one under 21 kid, was it Samuel Ishmit, that he just signed a 6-year contract in 2031. So, and I thought to myself, we've got a lot of holes to get rid of, and one of it is goalkeeper. We need to get a replacement for our goalkeeper. We need to replace that centre back itself. If we sold Disasi this summer, then we get another prolific striker, an aerial box presence that we need. We've been crying out for nearly 3 years now. Will that happen? I do not know. I hope it happened, because at the moment we just shot ourselves in the foot that if we miss out the Champions League position again, that's going to be equaling the record for the amount of consecutive seasons since 2002 that we've not made that Champions League. So again, the recruitment in the summer is as much as people underestimate it, it's very important to get the right profile in the squad right now. And that's for me, Maresca will. I think for me, the squad building is important than getting the right manager. So
100%, bro, 100%. Like, even when I'm looking at the wingers, right? One thing that I've criticized Maresca for is, bro, like, let me tell you something again. One thing about Maresca, he likes wingers that take a lot of risks, right? If you go back to his time at Leicester, he had Mavididi and he had Fathur. And when you watch these guys' fights, they love to take man on. They actually like to just run at people, run at their fullbacks, cross it in, they'll score a goal. That's what they like to do, right? Sancho isn't really like that. Sancho's not that direct, And then you've got Neto. We already know what Neto is. Neto, I thought he was going to be more direct than this, but he's more stop, start, cross the ball, stop, start. He doesn't really attack the man like a Madueke. Madueke is the only winger we have right now, and we had Mudryk as well that could do it, that could really take the man on consistently, right? That's, again, another profile that Maresca is missing, especially on the left. And that's why, for me, it's annoying that Mudryk's gone, because, bro, I'm telling you, he was improving massively this season, bro. Yeah, massively, he was improving massively. I think he would have loved playing with Maresca, because Mudryk, as much as people might not like this guy, he actually takes risks. He actually runs past people and tries to cross the ball. And most of the time, he's crossing the wood. You know what I mean? So, end of the day, bro, that's another area we need to be looking at, because the wingers right now in this system, they're not the ideal wingers that he likes. Yeah, he likes wingers that know how to run at their man consistently and take risks. Yeah, but at the same time, we still need that box presence. We still need someone to aim for. Yeah, go remind yourself of the goal we scored against West Ham. Neto, he looks up, he saw Mark Gill in the box, he aimed for him, it goes to Cucurella, it comes back to Neto, Neto scores the goal, right? That's what Neto likes to do. He'll look up, he'll see who's in there, he'll whip it in. If you had an Osimhen this season, I promise you, he's sitting on more than 10 goals this season, bro. Osimhen will be eating with Neto. He'll be eating. You know what I mean? But you're not going to see the best of him.
This is why I like this comment here. Squad building is more important if we have a championship manager team. That doesn't matter. That's the thing, that I want to have a proper squad building, not like some reckless FUT fantasy team manager. That this is why that squad is important. Is much more compared to getting the right manager in. And we need to find the balance of the squad, but not only getting the right players in, but you need some leadership at the back. Especially that is what we've been missing since Thiago Silva left. That we thought Levi Colby to be that leader, but unfortunately he's still that young, he's still inexperienced, and he's showing you that he's still making so many mistakes in his aspects of the game that I'm not that convincing of. And that's why I feel like I've got fully this season. I'm fully blaming solely on the sporting directors, because for me, the tactics, the football's on the pitch, I'm not gonna have anything, the high expectancy that I should be good. No, it's not that. Like, my issue is more to the fact that, again, the balance of the squad is got to be perfect. Otherwise, we're gonna stuck in the same position for a while now.
100%, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Even if we had Flick right now, or flipping, I'm trying to think of who else, bro. They use what these lot want. Enrique, by the way, this fan base would not have had patience for this guy, bro. Because when he first started at PSG, it wasn't rosy like this. It was only the start of this season that they weren't playing great football. Yeah, knowing how toxic these guys are, they would have not have had patience for this guy, bro. Yeah, but I'm telling you, bro, give Maresca, Yamal, Rafinha, and Lewandowski. We're doing much better than this, right? Give him Doué, Dembele, and Bacola were doing much better than this, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at that as well, bro. That he needs to use Tyreek George more as well. That's another thing as well, bro.
Yeah, that's the most annoying thing for me is that, I see him Tyreek George on Thursday against Legia Warsaw. Why did he start on Sunday? Do we actually starting players based on merit, or is it based on the last performance? Because I don't get it anymore.
It's based, we'll talk about that in a second, but let me touch upon on Armin in a sec, because he's saying here, what happened to Anselmino? He said he's a great defender according to Wisecout. Bro, I said Anselmino is a guy who's very good on the ball from the back. You know, he breaks lines very similar to Colwell, but he's actually right-footed. His front thinking is similar to Fofana. He's aggressive in his duels. But what I did say is that this guy, he's still young, and there's times where he's quite rash. Like, he'll just dive in when he doesn't need to, right? But he's definitely good enough to be playing in Europe. And he nearly went to Marseille, but because we're idiots, right? And we decided to loan out Felix. Felix took the last loan spot, bro. Yeah. Now we've got Anselmino just chilling there. I don't even know where he's playing right now, in the 23s. You know what I mean? This guy was meant to be playing with De Zerbi, bro. That's not a joke. playing first team football with De Zerbi. You know what I'm saying? So Anselmino, listen, what's happened to him right now? That's more on the club rather than him. You know what I'm trying to say? Tyreek George, put that comment up about Tyreek George.
Yeah, sir. That's Tyreek George.
Yeah, exactly. Tyreek George, bro. This is another guy that I would have started in certain games, even ahead of Sancho. Because when you talk about profile of winger, he is someone that likes to run at their man. Yeah. We have not got enough risk takers. And that's why people say this system is very robotic. This system is very players aren't allowed freedom. And I'm like, bro, like, I see these wingers getting on the ball a lot, right? And they're failing, they're scared. It's like they're scared to take on their man. Yeah. I'm telling you, bro, facts. When I was watching Leicester games and I was seeing Fathur and Mavididi, I was like, bro, Madueke will love playing with Maresca. Because the way I'm seeing these wingers cooking, he would love that style of play, because he gives these wingers, he basically, his game plan is go to the wingers a lot, right? They're going to get a lot of the ball. But if they're not doing anything when they get on the ball, you know what I mean? They're not taking risks. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to take away blame from the manager, and you got to look at the player sometimes, bro, and say, bro, why are you not doing your job on that side as well, right? It's true, they do get 2v1s. They get 2v1s here and there, but there's also times mid-game I see our fullbacks overlapping. I've seen Cucurella in numerous games this season overlapping, bro. Yeah. I've seen Palmer overlapping. I've seen Gusto, even the other game. I see Gusto overlapping, bro. So when people like, they don't overlap, they get 2v1. I see our fullbacks overlapping mid-game in a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And at the same time, I watch other teams, even Barcelona. I don't really see Koundé overlapping like that. I see Yamal get the ball and Yamal just does his thing. I see Rafinha get the ball. I see Rafinha just do his thing. Yeah. Watch other teams, people, because I'm telling you, open your eyes a lot more to football. A lot of people just have their eyes fixed on Chelsea. They don't watch other teams. Watch other teams, bruv, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Definitely. And I think I want to bring up one of the comments here, because this is interesting from Jordan, because we got rid of Felix, which was pointless because he always wanted number one, not working out. This is a thing, part of me saying that the way that Joao Felix coming back into this football club, I feel it's more of a PR stunt just to keep the fans happy, and eventually get loaned out. And the thing is, even though Felix was out of form at that time, I would rather bring him on instead of Nkunku. And that is, for me, it's like the biggest mistake so far that we've had in January, is that we loaned out unnecessary players that we need that squad depth. I know everyone wants the game time, but at the end of the day, it's all about that, getting that squad depth right. And at the moment, it's just that we're just relying solely on few small minority of the main players. We haven't got anyone that have. The thing is, we haven't got any game changer on our bench. So who do we look up to?
Bro, this is the thing. That's what I'm saying, Fats. Like with Felix, again, if you go back to the game against Leicester, I was at that game as well, bro. This guy was brilliant in that game, right? I don't think he even started the following game. He comes on against Bournemouth. We don't get the free kick that Reece scored without Felix. He comes on, it adds a little bit more energy. It adds something different. He attracts players because he will get the ball. He will run. Players are now trying to come to him. He gets fouled. He'll give the ball to someone else. All of a sudden, you're in a lot more space. So he might not be the person that gets the goal or gets the assist, but a lot of the time he's involved in the move to get the goal. You know what I mean? But we didn't want to use him. We'd rather use Nkunku. We'd rather keep a guy that wants to leave the club instead of a guy that actually wants to try. Yeah, you use him as he is right now, and then you sell him in the summer. But why weaken your squad? Why weaken your squad, bro? Yeah, We could have used Vega, bro. I'm telling you, bro. We could have dropped Colwell and played Vega more often because Vega defensively is better than this guy.
Yeah. There you go. And there you go. And that is the reckless decision that I always think back to myself as like, what are you doing in this window? What is the actual plan? Why are you making our squad look so thin now? And we left in an awkward spot. And luckily enough, we picked up, since the transfer window ends, we picked up roughly about 3-4 wins since January. Is it that good now? No, it's not. So 4 wins since the transfer window ends is very worrying. Very worrying sign.
No, 100%, man. 100%, bro. It's worrying, man, right now. And like I said, I find it hard to believe that Egbali is sitting there because he was at the game the other day against Ipswich, yeah? He's sitting there, he's watching guys missing up top, and he's watching clownery at the back and not wanting to do anything, yeah? Because think about it like this, Fats. Think about it like this right now, yeah? You invest in something right now. You invest in some properties, yeah? You invest in some, big apartments and that, yeah? But then you go in there and you'll see that there's a mold problem, but you're like, oh, do you know what? It's fine. I'll leave the mold problem. See you lot later. Let's find some tenants, right? You're not going to find the best tenants. You know what I mean? You're not going to find tenants that really want to take care of the house because they'll look at the mold and they'll be like, nah, I'll find something better than this, right? That's what's going on at Chelsea right now. We've got this AP. We've spent all this money, 1.5 billion. It looks all nice from the outside. But when you go in there, there's mold up top, yeah? There's mold at the back. You know what I'm saying? There's mold. There's a big hazard in goal that needs to be sent to the recycling place where you get rid of hazards, bro. You know what I mean? That's where it needs to get sent. So there's mold that needs to be cleaned in the summer. And that mold ain't going to be cleaned without these guys sorting shit out, bro. Yeah? That's what they need to do. They need to sort shit. They need to get rid of the mold. They need to get rid of the mold, bro.
Exactly. And this comment right here just sums up the way our backline moved this season. Like, I would rather have Vega back than... you know what? I'd rather have Vega or Buddy Shili stars ahead of Colwell because ever since that Colwell do this shush thing to the crowd, and then he's been sticking up as of late, man. And that's why I don't like his attitude that apparently he said in the comments a couple of months ago, just last month ago, he said that if I don't get a Champions League, I'll be gone. So, okay, then yeah. So
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But yeah, he's been immature right now. The best way to describe his defending recently, bro, has been immature, right? At this level, bro, you can never switch off. My man, he was looking at Cucurella. He probably thought, oh, Cuckoo's got him. It's Ben Johnson. But, bro, it's the Prem. Yeah? It's the Prem. You don't switch off. You don't switch off. Man's just, he was literally daydreaming. His ball watching like this, jogging, and he does that thing with his hands where it's like, oh, look, we've conceded again. I'm like, bro, it's you. Yeah? Against West Ham, man's getting shifted on the floor. They score. It's you, blood. Yeah? Against Brighton, remember he got the ball for the third goal. He just shifted out the way, weak. He starts complaining to the ref. It's you, bro. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Immaturity, bro. These guys, some of these players, the irony of these players, yeah, a lot of these players get cooked by these guys that claim to have standards and that online and like to cook Maresca, right? But the same guys that they're cooking, they don't have no accountability either, yeah? They don't have no accountability for the players, and guys like Colwell have no accountability for themselves. You know what I mean? It's always just blame one person. Football's never black and white. Football is multi-layered. You got to think of many things, bro. It's never just one reason as to why something's not happening. Because ultimately, all of this is happening right now because of what's going on up top. Yeah? What's going on upstairs is what's led to this, bro. It's filtered down, right? It's filtered down, bro. There's never just one reason when these things happen. You know what I mean? When teams win, when teams are winning, when Man City were winning, yeah, it wasn't just because they had Aguero. It wasn't just because they had KDB. It's because they had KDB. It's because they had company. It's because they had Silva. It's because they had the guys that are upstairs doing really good at the recruitment. Yeah. It's because they had a very good front three. It's because they had Pep, right? There's so many different things that you got to look at. People just look at one thing and that's it. Like, football don't work like that, bro.
Yeah.
You know
I think the Chalobah move is to keep the match-going fans happy, and that's I just think that the move itself that keep letting Leslie Ugochukwu go on loan when we were in a dire situation that we need. I think we need to have one DM at least to be fit on our bench, and unfortunately enough, that Enzo Caicedo, they were getting onto the ground, that they were playing until I think they were playing the most minutes, and they can tell by the looks from the Sunday's game, they look knackered, and that's why I feel like the importance of that. Hypothetically, that I could look at it like, let's say we need at least 2 backup midfielders just to accommodate the Enzo and Caicedo.
We've done that already. We've got that already, and that's why for me, I can see already. That's why I'm looking forward to our midfield next season, right? Because we've got Santos already, who for me, I was saying even when he was here with Poch, we should have kept this guy. Like when I watched him in preseason, I was very impressed. I'm like, yo, this guy's a baller. Like I'm seeing man getting on the ball in the 6. He's press resistant. He's breaking the lines. He's reading the game. He's winning his duels, right? He's actually attacking the space. I'm seeing this guy just playing beyond his years. I'm like, yo, we need to keep this guy. Then all of a sudden, I'm seeing he's getting loaned out and whatnot to Forest. He barely gets played there. January, I said, bring this guy back. He goes to Strasbourg. Fair enough, he had a good half of the season at Strasbourg and he's carried it on this year. But that's a player that's going to be very key for us next season, right? You've got a Sugo. That's going to be another player that's key for us because Caicedo needs to get rest. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Santos,
and that's more.
Santos as well.
You know what I mean? That's more things. So when I'm looking at these 2 profiles they've brought in already, that shows me that they've realized, yo, Enzo Caicedo will be running to the ground. We need to sort this out. So as much as I would have liked them to keep Leslie and Santos this season, it's done now. I can't keep crying about that. What they've done is that they've tried to problem solve, and going into next season, the midfield looks like it's going to be patterned. Yeah. But now it's the attack you need to sort out. Now it's the defense you need to sort out. Now it's the goalkeeper you need to sort out. You've got Petrovic coming back. Are you going to sell him, or are you gonna keep him? Yeah. And if you do sell him, don't keep Sanchez, bro. You still got to sell Sanchez as well. You know what I'm saying? You still have to get Sanchez as well, blood.
Yeah. He's out the door. Yeah. You need him. Yeah. We got rid of Vega, best defender, and got rid of him for Juventus. Carney Chukwemeka didn't give him enough chance. That's the thing. Again, this decision making from our upstairs is just so baffling to see, and it's just that the Vega one that probably struck out the most is that, okay, you loaned that Chilwell to Palace, but you practically only left one natural left back. I've seen most of the times that I see Reece James play as a right left back, and then Gusto as a left back. But other than that, man, again that decision making from upstairs, especially from these 2, Winstanley and Stewart, it's been massively appalling, and hopefully, I just don't see this is gonna get any better soon rather than later. Because, yeah, man, do you know what? The thing is, like, one last thing before we wrap up, Don, it's just that can we make the top 4 by the looks of it right now with the amount of availability players we got at the moment?
Put it this way, Fats. I wasn't even confident we'll beat Spurs, and not because Spurs are good. It's because I don't trust these guys. I don't trust these guys, bro. Yeah, we've got one of the worst conversions in the league, bro. Yeah, Jackson and Palmer are the reason why we're gonna get top 4. Because as much as Enzo is scoring more goals, bro, he's not our striker. He's not, you know what I mean? I'm not looking at Enzo really as the go-to guy to go and get me the goals. Like, yes, he's improved in front of goal, but our best chances fall to Jackson. A lot of the time, our best chances fall to Palmer. You know what I mean? So, boy, we listen. I don't know, innit? I'm hoping we make top 4, but I'm not confident we'll get it. I'm just kind of going with the flow. What Chelsea are going to turn up today? Are you guys going to be good in front of goal? Are you guys going to be clowns at the back? You know what I mean? Or Maresca, what are you going to be doing as well? Are you going to decide to start in Cuckoo up top again? Right? I'm just going with the flow, blood, seeing how these guys get on. But I'm not confident we're getting top 4.
Yeah, same as well. It's just that, again, these kind of decisions that make the small mistakes for me, that is eventually that's going to cost us the top 4, possibly our European places. And let's say, hypothetically, if we do not make it, that, let's say if we finish 8th and then lose the Conference League final, that's the 3rd consecutive season that we're not in the European football. So yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough, but yeah. Anything else you like we'll talk about, Don? Or
No. It's been a good show. I need to get back to work, people. So it's been a quick, snappy one. Hope you lot enjoyed the show, man. Subscribe to my channel here, Don CFC. I do a weekly show called Blue Diaries, and yesterday we done one. So me, Jimmy, you guys probably know who Jimmy is. Couch, we've got Ads, Jem. You guys know Jem, Chelsea Fan TV. Who else? AJ was on there as well. So we touched up on a lot. It got very heated. So make sure that you lot check that one out. And yeah, my match review as well, I did the other day. A lot of people were cooking me in the comments and that. Again, you lot check that out. But yeah, there'll be a lot more content coming, man. Obviously, we're playing on Sunday. I'll be at the game with Alex. So you probably catch me in the vlog as well with him. Big up, Cats, man. Yeah, we'll be there. I'll be there on Cats as well, bro. Big up, man.
But yeah, without further ado, guys, and we leave you here. And yeah, we're signing out. And I think Alex will be live tonight. So yeah, just make sure you keep on a good update and subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV, guys. And we're out. Peace.